It's Friday evening on CBTV. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CBTV Friday evening. Tonight we've got brilliant Cabaret on the sofa stage from Nat Augustin. But before that, it's time for another update with Thomas.
Good evening, fellas. How are we? We okay?
We're all good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, hi, Ian. First thing I want to say is I think we've fixed our internet connection. So hopefully I'm not going to be as stuttery as I was last time I came on the show. Fingers crossed. But if I do start to stutter, please let me know and I will repeat what I've just said.
No problem.
So yesterday, me and my brothers and my dad, we travelled down to Cornwall, to our two parks in Cornwall, to Lisky Hill and to Golla, which is the latest park to join the Vale group. And it's a nice journey from Aberystwyth. It's 290 miles each way. So when we get to the Severn Bridge, that's the halfway point for us. And I've got to pay testament to the team at Lisky Hill and Golla, because they've done a fantastic job in making sure that everything is good to go to welcome our customers back tomorrow. So in England, it's a different date. It's the 4th of July. The 4th of July is tomorrow, American Independence Day. Also, the day holiday parks in England open their gates again. So well done to the team at Lisky Hill. We're looking forward to welcoming all of our customers back there. I know that a lot of our customers, in fact, all of our customers are excited to go back to their caravans because it's been a long time. And also, we're going to be welcoming guests to Higher Golla, which at the moment is a touring park. You can Google Higher Golla and it'll come up. It's just up the road from Lisky Hill in Perranporth as well. And we have our first guests arriving there tomorrow. So it's all good news in Cornwall. People arrive into the park, you'll see a few changes there. You'll see in place.
We lost you then.
Oh. I was doing so well. Yeah. You'll see social distancing measures put in place. You'll see sanitising stations scattered throughout the park. The experience is going to be different. Of course it is. And this is the same for all of our parks. But if we all let common sense prevail, then it'll be absolutely fine, and you're not going to notice too much of a chore to be able to sort of navigate around the park and carry on with your day-to-day life when you're back on the parks. So that's Lisky Hill. That's tomorrow. When I was at Lisky Hill, I had a text message come through saying, "Quick, put the Welsh news on. They're making more announcements." Oh, here we go. What are they announcing now? So there were two big things that got announced yesterday. The first big thing was that they've moved the date for the holiday parks in Wales to reopen. And this is a big one because originally holiday parks in Wales could open on the 13th of July, which is a week Monday. The First Minister and his government have now decided to change that to 2 days before Saturday, the 11th of July. Did you really? Did you lose me as well, Ian, or was it just Jem?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh my God! Right. Okay. So Saturday, the 11th of July is the date when we can welcome our owners back. So I just want to be very clear and specific now with this information that I'm giving out. Tomorrow is the 4th of July. That's when we welcome back our owners and all guests to our two parks in Cornwall. The next important date is the 11th of July. So this is to all of our parks in Wales, with seasonal tours and static caravan back. Am I going again?
Yeah.
But I don't understand this because you two are not freezing with me. You're still moving. So I don't get it. I don't know what's happening. So static caravan owners and seasonal tourers, you can come back to our parks in Wales on Saturday, the 11th of July at midday. Okay. Couple of important things to say on that. The first one is that we will not be allowing holiday guests to visit the park until the Monday, which is the original date, Monday the 13th of July. And also, we politely asked all of our owners that sublet, you do not allow sublet guests to Yeah.
Can you just repeat that, because you did break up a little bit?
I don't understand, because you two are not breaking up at all. You two are absolutely spot on. So I don't know what's going on here. So sublet guests, you're not. Sublet guests are not to come to the park on the Saturday. So if you own a caravan or a chalet and you're thinking of subletting it, please do not sublet it on the 11th of July. The reason for that is quite simple. You've got quite a bit of work to do if you own a caravan or a chalet and you sublet it, because you've got to make sure that you are COVID safe and that you're good to go. We've spoken on the show. We've sent out some information. Jem, your face is really putting me off every time. So can you? Yeah, honestly,
I just panic when you
yeah, well, don't. It's putting me off. Seriously, it's bad enough looking at your face when you're not pulling faces. So,
nice to be back.
Yeah. So yeah, you've got to make sure that your caravan or chalet is good to go, because if it isn't, you should not be subletting it. I think, if I'm being completely honest, that 2 days is not going to be enough, and I don't think people should be accepting guests on the 13th of July. But if you can say that you are confident in that you have followed all of the guidance procedures and put processes in place, once you're happy you've done that, then you can welcome guests to the park in your caravan or chalet as a sublet, but certainly not on the 11th of July. We've reserved that date specifically just for our own owners and for our seasonal tourists. Okay. So the only other date I've got to tell you about, because it has been mentioned quite a few times, is a date in between the 4th and the 11th, which is the 6th of July. When's the 6th of July? That's Saturday, isn't it? Yeah, that's this Saturday. Is that tomorrow? No, Sunday. When's the 6th of July? Monday. Monday.
Monday, yeah.
6 is Monday. So last was very clear and specific about saying that on the 6th of July, it's when they're going to be relaxing the travel restrictions in Wales, the stay local guidelines, where you can only travel 5 miles. It was quite an arbitrary thing. Those are it's being abandoned on Monday. Also, at the time when I was on the show before, the guidance from the Welsh government was that you could not visit your holiday park because to check on your caravan, because some people were saying, well, look, can we come on the park a little bit early because we want to check the caravan, we want to get it ready. It can only be for essential maintenance only, such as a gas safety check. I can see by Jem's face that I've just froze again. Yeah. You're not you haven't got a very good poker face, Jem. So the guidance has now changed. The guidance is, because it's changing all the time, it's a constantly moving target. The guidance is that on the 6th of July, park owners in Wales have the discretion to allow their customers to come back onto the park. Okay? I want to be clear on this. We're not going to open our parks to owners.
Okay. Big freeze that time.
Sorry, you went completely.
I don't know what's happening. Let me just make some adjustments. Let me just chuck Sophia out of here to start with. Hang on.
Someone's just said, Thomas, that upload speeds are slower than download speeds, which is why you're.
Yeah, I get that, but my upload speed's like I'm getting 30 meg up and 300 meg down, so that should be ample. Just bear with me. Hang on.
Yeah, just to ask again, if anybody does have any questions, just hold them off till a little bit later, because we don't want to miss anybody's questions. Thank you.
So even though we now have the ability to allow owners back on their caravans from the 6th of July in Wales, we're not going to allow that to happen, because we need that time to make sure that our own systems, processes and procedures are implemented in time for welcoming people back on the Saturday. So I know it's a question that we've been asked today. I know it's a question that will probably be continued to ask as the week progresses going into next week. But hopefully you can understand our reason for not opening the park, even for day visits on the 6th of July, even though legally we now can do it. What we don't want to do as well, with the amount of owners we've got, we don't want to do anything to encourage stay over before they're meant to, because that's just going to put us in a whole world of trouble, especially with the locals in some of our parks and that. And also, more importantly, like we said, we want to make sure that the parks are COVID safe. In other words, that the systems, procedures, and all of the protocols are implemented, and we can spend every available day we have up until the 11th running through those systems and procedures and making sure that they're tested and tried to their full extent. So hopefully you can understand where we're coming from with that. Okay.
Sorry, I just need to, because someone's just commented on Facebook, and it's annoyed me a little bit. Sorry.
Okay.
Julie McIntyre's just asked, shouldn't they have already been in place? But you've been shut long enough to sort it.
Julie McIntyre, get a grip. Come on, get a grip. I think as the weeks have been going on, I've been doing these broadcasts. I think my patience has started to wear thinner and thinner and thinner. Look, Julie, if you've been following the show, and I'm sure you have, you will know that we're finding out last minute from the government. Okay, let me give you an example, Julie. The Good to Go, which is something we have to sign up to, the Good to Go scheme in Wales was only launched on the 1st of July. It was launched, 2 days ago? Okay. So with the best will in the world, Julie McIntyre, no, we've not been able to use that time to get the parks ready. Why? Because we've been busy doing other things. We've been busy making sure that the parks are maintained. We've been busy making sure that loads of things, such as, when you come back to Claret Bay, you're going to see the roads have been tarmacked. You're going to develop the parks. It's only just now, these last week or so, where we've had specific, clear guidance from the government as to what we need to do. So there you go.
Also, they changed things. It's like we've seen that this week. They've gone from 13th to the 11th, so it's keeping on top of it. It's not an easy job.
No, it's not. It's not. Okay, shall I move on?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Let me know if any more comments come in, Jim.
I will.
Right. Okay. So let's now touch on the Goodwill Scheme that we've that's been sent out to everybody. I'll start by saying that on behalf of the families, in Claret with the Barkers and the Scarrotts, and with Vale with the Scarrott family, thank you very much, because we have had loads and loads of positive phone calls and emails from our customers thanking us for the goodwill gesture that we've put on the table, what we've put out there. And it really, really is nice to read those lovely comments that have come in today. Unfortunately, we've had a minority who don't like what we offered. And we've had some people who have written to us saying that they're disgusted by what we've offered. We've had some people write to us saying that they think that they've actually put a counter offer in place. They've said, well, look, this is our counter offer. So let's talk about the static caravans first of all. The scheme is dependent on goodwill between two sides. So if we're saying this is our offer of goodwill, and then a person on the other side is going, disgusting, I like it, well, okay, we will withdraw from you our offer of good.
Oh,
We've lost you again.
Yeah, are we back? Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Start again, because that was quite bad, Thomas.
Yeah, I'm just saying the scheme is dependent on goodwill between two sides. So if we're offering goodwill and the person on the other side is saying, don't want that, that's disgusting, you should be doing more, then there's no more goodwill we can offer. Does that make sense? I want to make it clear on behalf of the family that the absolute best we can for you for our caravan owners.
Well, Thomas, two people have just put, Kelly J. Talbot's put, yes, thank you. It was much appreciated.
Yeah, and we're not saying this for people, appreciate those kind words, and it's been lovely, some really nice words today. But when the park's open, the reason we've sent these letters out now is because we don't want to be now having this conversation week after week after week. We're not, and I'll be honest with you, if you're a caravan owner and you're not satisfied with the goodwill offer that we've made to you, then we can do about that towards that. We're not gonna change the offer. The offer is what it is. There is absolutely no legal obligation at all for us to make that offer. We've kept to our side of the agreement in terms of the license agreement you have. As an industry, as a business, and as a family, we've taken advice on that from experts in the field. And the conclusion is that we have kept to what we've said we're going to do in terms of the license agreement. You own the caravan, we own the pitch. Your caravan is on the pitch, and the license agreement allows that to happen. We've kept to that side of the bargain, of the agreement, which is why we felt, well, look, we've got to do something, because this situation, it's not our fault, it's not your fault, it's just a situation we're in. What can we do to show a little bit of goodwill, to say, well, look, we really appreciate you bearing with us. Well, like I said, what we've done is the very best we can do for our static caravan owners. And if you can't accept that, then, we might as well withdraw that offer from the people that can't accept it. And it's not us chucking our toys out the pram. But, what else can we do, boys? Do you know what I mean? What else can we do?
I think you've justified the compensation as well, and how you've calculated it. Which again, it's easy for me to sit here and say seems fair. It seems that's better than some of the offers that other people are doing.
Well, look, here's the thing, and this is, I hope I can convey this message in the correct tone, because I don't mean to sound autocratic, and I don't mean to sound, but
you're not saying anything at all at the minute.
I'm not saying, yeah. I said I don't mean to sound autocratic, and I don't mean to sort of sound rude with how I'm about to explain this, and hopefully it will come out in the right way, and it's meant to come out in a way not to offend. If you are not happy with the goodwill offer, what are your options? Well, you can either spit your dummy out and throw your toys out and go, I'm not happy with it, and then things will calm down. Or, as one or two people have said in emails today, they want to make the matter further. If the matter was to go further, and this is just me being completely open, honest, and straightforward, let's say it goes before a judge. There's only going to be two possible outcomes if it goes before a judge. The first possible outcome, which is highly likely, and the legal advice points towards this heavily, is that it will be ruled in our favour that we haven't breached the license agreement. Okay? So that being the case, that will then disperse any goodwill that was between the two sides, because you've taken us to court. If, on the other hand, the caravan owner wins the case, which we believe is highly unlikely, that would then make the license agreement null and void. So if you haven't got a license agreement, you haven't got a contract, there's no agreement to keep the caravan on the park. So you've got to really ask yourself, what do you want from this? What is your ultimate gain from this situation? It's a situation that's not your fault. It's a situation that's not our fault. It's a situation which in the UK is cost nearly 50,000 lives. Okay, what is your end game? We've put our cards on the table. We've put an offer out there. It's an offer that we think is very fair. In fact, compared to a lot of park operators, it's sort of in the higher ranks of what's being offered. It's not quite up there with what some people are offering. I mean, some people have offered full refunds, but then you've got to look at what the site fees were they were charging in the first place. You're talking on parks with site fees north of £6,000-7,000, which our site fees are nowhere near that. So if you're one of those people that are up in only yeah. If you're one of those who are sort of up in arms about the offer we put out there, just ask yourself, what is your end game? What do you hope to achieve from it? And I'll just leave that. I'll just leave that with you.
Nat Lawrence has just put a great comment on Facebook. He's put, the way I see it, if you have finance in a car and you don't drive it for 3 months, you still have to pay for the car. Same thing. I appreciate the gesture. It'll help.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate the nice comment. And we've had
seriously, yeah. Thomas, there's so many people saying it's brilliant. We're so happy. So not one person's commented about it.
No, well, thank you very. We really do appreciate that. So, just before we move on to the seasonal tours, because I've got some more information about the seasonal tours in a second. So, one of the things which I want to make clear is one of the things that we've offered as part of the Goodwill Scheme is we've offered an account credit against next year's site fees. And a lot of people have sent in some very good questions over the course of today. And one of the main questions centres around next year's site fees and what those site fees will be. Because I think some people, perhaps people who have not been with us a long time, who perhaps don't know us as a family and as a business, they were perhaps thinking, and I can understand where they're coming from, cards on the table again, they're perhaps thinking, well, look, they're giving us X amount of credit in this hand, but are they going to take it back in that hand by increasing the site fees? So what I can say to you is this: as a family, we have said today that the site fees, if they do increase next year, it will be no more than an increase of £80. Okay, so in terms of a monthly increase, you're looking at a monthly increase of like £6.66. So that's a commitment that we're making today, that the site fees will not increase no more. They will not increase any more than £80. So if you are one of those people who's wondering whether or not you should take the account credit, not knowing what next year's site fees will be, hopefully the information I've just provided you there will give you some comfort in or help you towards making a final decision.
And the discounts for sort of paying by transfer and stuff, that'll still be available, will it?
Yeah, so all of the usual discounts that we offer for paying on time and for paying our preferred method of payment by bank transfer will still be attributed, will still be available.
Yeah.
So you'll be getting discount on discount in effect. So hopefully that makes that makes you feel a little bit more easier when it comes to
Yeah.
Oh, he's frozen again.
Got again.
Big contact time.
It's
Listen,
yeah.
Now you come out to seasonal tours. Can I just knock off a minute? I've got a chip butty waiting for me.
Go on then. You go.
Thank you. I'll see you in a minute.
Right, so let's talk about seasonal tourers. We've had a number of emails in today, and again, we've had some lovely comments in from people. I can see by Jem's face that I'm freezing again.
No, I was actually just reading the comments.
Ah, okay. So seasonal tourers. A couple of things to say with seasonal tourers, and one of the announcements I wanted to make tonight, and we didn't put this in the letter, and the reason we didn't put it in the letter is because with things changing at such a fast pace, we didn't have this confirmed until literally, what time is it now? About 3 hours ago. So we operate seasonal touring across, I think it's 4 counties in Wales. And I'm pleased to say, because we use a primary local authority, we've been able to go to our primary local authority and they've been able to sort of do the negotiation for us. We've asked permission to extend the season for seasonal touring. Okay. So what we're going to do, in addition to the offer we made in writing, which you would have received yesterday, we are, for this season, going to extend your seasonal touring season to bring it in line with the static caravans. So, for example, most of our seasonal tourers' season ends the end of October. We're now saying you can keep the caravan on at no extra cost until, I think, in which park time between 14th of January. So we are, for the time that you've lost at the start of the season, we are now allowing you to make up for that at the end of the season. I think one of the things we have to sort of avoid happening is sort of a trade-off or a standoff, I should say, between statics and seasonals. We don't want that to happen because, I don't want static owners thinking, well, you've extended their season and, you've only offered us a choice to extend our site license, or we've had to choose one or the other. I think what we've got to bear in mind with the seasonal tourers is perhaps had it short, a little bit more difficult than what the rest of us have, because at this moment in time, they can't use toilet or shower facilities. It's got to be using their own onboard facilities. So they are at a bit more of a disadvantage because of that, Jem, if you understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So we will write to our seasonal tourers further to explain that in more detail. But that's the big news I can tell you tonight, is that we will be inviting all of our seasonal tourers to extend the season. So again, going back to the negative side of things, for those tourers who are not happy with the offer we've made, so they've had an offer initially that was in line, similar to what we've offered to our static owners in terms of next year's fees. With a seasonal tourer, it's a lot more of a straightforward situation to resolve. Why? Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy, you can hitch your tour up and you can move it to another park. That's the beauty of having a touring caravan. Now, the one thing I want to make absolutely crystal clear, and I don't want to make this in any way, shape, or form ambiguous, is that
Sorry, that was quite bad then, Thomas.
Yeah, we don't want to lose any customer at all. We want to retain and keep all of our customers, because without you, we wouldn't have a business. But we can't, like I said with the static owners, we cannot be in a position when the park reopens. We're not going to be in a position to keep having the conversations about the goodwill and about forms of compensation. We've got to draw a line underneath it, and we've got to move on from the day the park opens. Can you see where we're coming from, Jem?
Yeah.
Because if this drags on and we keep getting people saying, well, we're not happy with this, can you do... And,
you've gone.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to have to get this sorted. I have to get the engineers to come and have a look at it.
Can I just quickly ask if people, I've written it a few times in the chats, can you please hold your questions until we open up the questions? Otherwise, we won't get a chance to answer them because I'll never be able to find them again.
Yeah.
So please hold your questions.
So here's the thing. So if you've liked the offer we've made for your seasonal touring, then fantastic. Things will carry on as normal, and you will get the benefits of the offer. If you think to yourself, well, no, that's not for me, well then I'm going to tell you, what the option is and how it. So we will give you a refund for your pitch fees, but it will be less the winter storage element. It will be less the first 3 weeks of the season at the nightly rate, at the advertised nightly rate, and it'll also be less sort of any the time we've been closed. I think it's 110 days, so it will be less a nightly storage fee, which the storage fee we've charged is £5, which is less than what the Caravan and Camping Club charge for storage. So there will be a balance payable to you, but after we've deducted the winter storage, after we've deducted the first 3 weeks of the season from the 1st of March to the 21st of March, and after we've deducted the £5 a night, you'll then receive the balance. The reality is we have to charge for storage, because where else could you have stored the caravan? The caravan's got to be stored somewhere, unless you've got the luxury to keep it in your front drive or whatever. So there's always going to be a storage element in there. So the point I'm trying to make is that we don't want you to leave. We want you to stay. We want you to stay. Please don't leave. But equally, there's only so much we can offer, and there's only so much we can give. And if you don't like what we're offering and you don't want to accept it, well, then unfortunately, the only choice you've got is to move on. If that is the case, we'll shake hands virtually or at a distance, and we'll leave things on good terms. But let's not now, and this goes for everybody really, the statics and the tourers. When the park opens, let's draw a line under all of this, and let's move forward together. I'm here.
You're back in the room.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say on behalf of the family. So yeah, there you go.
There you go.
No questions. Good. Right. Good night. I'm off.
I don't think that's going to be the case. Before we do the questions, do you want to show the video?
No, we'll do it at the end. It's light-hearted.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Right. So I'm going to go for the internet, for the email ones first. So still hold your questions on Facebook and YouTube. So first of all, you've actually already answered this one, but I will ask it again just in case. Back in March, when we went into lockdown, it was mentioned that seasonal tourist season might be extended. Is that still the case?
Yeah. Now we've had the confirmation from the local authorities. Yes.
Next question. I would like to know when you're going to email the ones with a seasonal pitch, as you've emailed the ones with statics.
You should have had your email. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a few people actually said on here that as tourists they've not received any letters, so maybe it's worth contacting your reception and checking that addresses and everything are correct.
Yeah.
Next question. Can we have someone to come in to service our boiler before we come down to the caravan?
Yeah, I think we've covered that before in the previous. As long as it's a qualified person, and as long as they pre-book at the park via the reception, that's fine.
Again, you've answered some of these questions.
If I've answered them, don't ask them.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're just going to keep going around in circles.
What about compensation for lack of services from the 13th of July, i.e. no pool, no park and no access to the toilet blocks? Surely there should be some compensation for this.
Take your caravan, go somewhere else. I mean that with the greatest. It is what it is. It's not our fault the facilities are closed. If you're that unhappy about it, get a petition together and send it to the Welsh government, or take your caravan, depending where you live, go over the Severn Bridge, go to Burnham-on-Sea, because the touring parks there are allowed to open with all the facilities. Okay, that's why this is. And again, perhaps my patience is wearing a little bit thin with this, but what can we do? This situation's not our fault. If you don't like what you can get in Wales because of the lack of facilities, then you've got you've either got to suck it up or you've got to go over the Severn Bridge and go to one of the parks in England. I think personally, and don't hold me to this. This is just a personal opinion. I think by the end of the month, by the beginning of August, I think things will sort of resemble what we believe to be what we think is normal. I think we will get back to some normality.
Okay, our next question. Re the Goodwill credit. How will this work? Will the credit be off our next year's figures prior to us paying it? Implied it is only after accounts and rents been paid in full. Example: do we pay the full amount?
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. So this is a very good question. It's one I'll clarify for you now. Have I got an example I can pull up? Okay. No. The easiest way to explain it is when you get your invoice for next year's site fee. Let's assume under normal circumstances that the balance you owe by the 1st of February is £3,000. That's your site fee. What we're saying is, if your credit is say £500 for argument's sake, pay us £2,500. Credit will be deducted off the final balance owing on your next lot of site fees. Does that make sense, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we're saying pay next year's site fees in full and then we'll put the credit on your account. What we're saying is, if we receive the balance payment less your credit before the 1st of February, then we're good to go.
So our next one. Do we need to keep letting you know when we're visiting or just for the first week of opening?
Unfortunately, because of the government's track and trace requirements, which again, going back to our name.
Sorry, you froze then. I wasn't sure if you froze or you were thinking, but you're...
No, the lady at the beginning, you said you've had 4 weeks to sort all this out.
Yeah.
We still don't know fully what the government want us to do with track and trace. We've had to do a best guess, and our best guess at this moment in time is that you have to tell us every time you enter and leave the park for overnight stays. So we're not saying you've got to tell us every time you pop to the shop and come back on again, but if you own a caravan or a chalet and you're coming down next weekend, you're staying for 4 days, you need to let us know. So we've set up an email address. The email address is trace@valeholidayparks.com or
Claretbay.com.
Claretbay.com froze again. It's a no reply email address, so we won't actually reply to you on an email address, but it's a way of us being able to compile a mailbox of people's movement. So if there was an issue or an incident, we could search through that mailbox and we go, yeah, they was on the park between this time and that time.
Okay, next question. The Welsh Government guidelines recently stated that accommodation could only be let to members of the same household. Is this something that the site ourselves need to vet? If we previously took bookings prior to COVID for, say, a parent, grandparent and child, would we have to cancel now? Has the Welsh Government guidelines since changed? Are you allowing grandparents / grandchildren?
Right, we're not the police, and we're not gonna, it is gonna, in the same way that we cannot control who you let in and out of your house, we're not gonna sort of vet who's going in and out of your caravan. We will always encourage people to follow the guidelines. We will follow the guidelines ourselves, but unfortunately, the Welsh government, and this is a personal opinion, it's not an opinion of the company or anything like that. A guideline, advice that the government has put out has been arbitrary and it's been ambiguous, and it's been open to interpretation. So if you're saying, for example, you can only let it to members of the same family, are you therefore saying that a couple who want to come and use the caravan, they may not be married, they may not, whatever, they're a couple and they want to come and use the caravan, can you see what I'm saying, Jem? Are the guidelines saying, well, you two are technically not the same family, you can't use the caravan? I don't know what level of detail the Welsh government expects us to go down to. These are lines, and we're certainly not going to be. I'll give you, Jem. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a real life example. Okay, so we spend as a family, we spend a lot of time in the Middle East. We've got a place over in Dubai. In Dubai, you're not allowed by law, because it's a Sharia country. They practice Sharia law there. You're not allowed, if you follow the actual the letter of the law to its exact point. Only married couples can stay overnight in a hotel room together. Do you know that, Jim?
No, they wouldn't like me staying there, would they?
No, they wouldn't. That's a whole new story. Yeah. Yeah. So the point I'm making is the UAE are fully aware that people who are not married couples go and, stay in their accommodation. So I can understand why the Welsh government have put this guidance in place, but I don't know how they expect us to police it. And to be quite honest, we're not going to, other than to say, you make sure you're responsible for you following the guidelines. Hopefully that makes sense.
You'll be able to tell though if they're not a married couple, won't you?
Well, because they'll be laughing and smiling and.
No, but they'll be sitting apart from each other.
Yeah.
Right, next question. Can you tell us, is there any update on the local shops and supermarkets? Will they let us in?
Yeah, look, they will let you in, and I tell you what, the smaller shops, the local shops, they will welcome you with socially distanced open arms. I can tell you that now, because a lot of local businesses, goes back to this butcher, baker, candlestick maker scenario. They have really missed you. They've really missed the money that tours generates for livelihood. Welcome you back with open arms. Trust me.
Next question. Can we drop paperwork off at the office, such as subletting forms and goodwill gesture forms? And is there a charge for the delivery service for takeaways?
Okay, so we are encouraging. I'll tell you what we'll do. The questionnaire will fall nicely into the video which we've produced, which we'll come to at the end of the session. As things stand at the moment, we've put measures in place for people not to go into the receptions. There's going to be gazebos outside and a table.
You've gone.
We understand that in day-to-day life, you're going to have to sort of sometimes exchange paperwork and stuff like that. What we would say is, again, sublet forms, anything you can do electronically, do it electronically. Send us an email. If you want to talk to us, then give us phone us, But if you want to speak to an actual human being, then we've put systems and procedures in place for that to happen at an acceptable social distance. But we would encourage, in terms of handing paperwork over, in any way, I think it's always better to have things in today's times, boys, So even without COVID, we would encourage things to be sent back to us electronically.
This next one's
sorry, delivery for takeaways. No, there's no delivery charge. We've got what we'll do, I think next weekend we'll talk more specific about the clubs and things like that, because again, yesterday I found out, I was driving out to Cornwall, it came on the news at 6 a.m. Welsh government, they're going to allow hospitality to reopen outdoors only. So again, today now we've sort of been looking at our clubs, because the plan we had originally for reopening was on the basis that it was strictly no entry to the premises, takeaway only. But now we're sort of looking at throughputs and sort of one-way systems and that, so you can be served in a safe way, in through one door, out through another door. And again, going back to what the lady said, I keep forgetting the name, the one who said you had all this time to prepare. We was told yesterday that we could open our bars, okay, and we're opening our bars. We've got sort of like just over a week to prepare. So we will talk in more detail as soon as the Welsh government give actual deliveries themselves. No, there won't be a charge for delivery.
This is a kind of an IT type question, but some people have actually asked it in Facebook as well, so I'll ask it.
Okay.
One question. I received the email regarding the Goodwill. Unfortunately, I don't have a computer to fill out the form. How do I get around it? Also, Thomas has done a fantastic job explaining everything. Think he should be an MP or president. He spoke very nicely, also explained more clearly than the Welsh government.
Oh, thank you. I've got no intention of being an MP, and certainly do not want to be a president. But thank you for your kind words. In terms of the IT, yeah, because of let's just talk about things in general when it comes to filling forms in. What you can get, and I'll try and find some links to it. You can get, so a lot of the documents you'll receive from us will be in a PDF format. So you can pretty much do anything with a PDF document, provided you've got a PDF editor and Adobe or Adobe, whichever way you prefer. Some people say Adobe, some say Adobe, a bit like Nike. They've got a suite of products which you can have on a free trial. And I think for home use, they may be free permanently. We'll have to look into that. But a lot of the documents that I fill and sign for the business, Adobe products for doing it, and it allows me to sort of to write on the document. It allows me to sort of digitally put my signature on there. So I think that might be something, again, not just for corresponding with us, but in general, you might want to look at do it. But if all else fails, you can always revert to the PAP method.
Pen and paper.
Pen and paper.
Okay, so we're on to the chat questions now. Are you still putting on the festivals?
No. At this time, we don't think it would be the right thing to do. As much as I said in the early days, as far as we're concerned, the festivals are going to go ahead. I think the way in which things have panned out, even though the festivals take place outside, as the guidelines stand at this moment in time, it would be virtually impossible for us to be able to produce a festival to the standard that we all expect. And Jem and Ian, in your normal day jobs, you will testify to that, because what's involved in things like Ian, you're a musician, and Jem, yeah. No, so I don't think it's gonna. I think for this year we're going to do a Glastonbury, because every so many years they let the festival not go ahead. They call it, is it a barrow or farrow? Yeah, I don't know what they got a name for it.
It used to be a farrow field, and it's farrow.
Yeah, so a farrow.
Yeah,
a fallow year, and I think we're going to do the same.
Jan Davis asks, if I wanted to have the extra 2 years, am I able to add it to my existing 4 years we've got left?
Well, that's a specific question, which just send us an email on that.
Sean,
I was telling about the festivals and that, but you just comes to.
Oh no, sorry, you froze, so I thought you'd stopped.
No.
Sorry, carry on with
let me unplug something. Hang on 2 seconds. Hang on. I'm trying to unplug all things in the panel here to make to see if I can improve the bandwidth, but I don't think it's. Hang on 2 seconds. Right. Yeah, festivals. So one of the things we're thinking of doing is, let's say it's a nice sunny day, which hopefully we're going to have plenty of nice sunny days. There's nothing stopping us from doing a bit of an adult cabaret performance outside, set the gear up really quick and do something along those lines.
Set the gear up really quick.
Yeah. But in terms of putting on a festival, I think everybody agree it's not going to be the right thing to do this year.
Sean Hill asks, have you got any rules and regulations related to renting out our static caravan for being COVID-19 safe?
What we've done, and we'll put out an email with this over the next couple of days. So if you Google "We're Good to Go" scheme, it's a national framework that's been set up by Visit Britain in conjunction with the regional and national tourist bodies like Visit Wales, Visit Scotland, Visit England, etc., etc. So from what we can understand, as well as businesses being able to sign up to the We're Good to Go scheme, I think individuals that rent accommodation can sign up to it as well. And the benefit of signing up to the scheme is that it will point you in the direction of the guidance you need to adhere to, and it will ask you questions such as, have you carried out a risk assessment? Have you thought about this? and point you in the right direction. And if you go through the process, at the end of it, you will get a certificate to say that your business is COVID safe. Because if you are subletting, as I'm sure you're aware, there are a number of considerations in the COVID world that you will have to think about. For example, what are you going to do to make sure that your cleaners are protected? What PPE are you providing? What are you going to do to give your guests peace of mind that the caravan's been cleaned to a high standard and that you've taken care of all of the touch points? What are you going to do, and how are you going to deal if your guest has a maintenance issue? Actually, this may be a good time to show the video.
Okay.
Yeah. So, which one are you going to? Should we do Claret's video?
Yeah.
So, what Jem's going to show you now, and I'll explain more about it afterwards. It's going to take 3 minutes to play this video. It will answer some of your questions. It will show you what we're planning on doing as a company. We have another version of the video which we won't play because it's very similar for Vale. So we've got two companies here. There's Vale. Claret Bay is slightly different in that it has slightly more facilities. It's a larger park and it's got its own beach. So this video is tailored specifically to Claret, whereas the Vale one sort of is tailored for Vale, but you'll get the gist.
We're open for business, so let the holiday fun begin. From Saturday, the 11th of July, we're delighted to say Claret Bay Holiday Village will reopen to welcome guests from across the UK. In the short term, things will be a little different to how they used to be. You can still book online at claretbay.com, or if you prefer, you can speak to one of our team directly by calling us on 0800 955 0022. We're here 7 days a week. In advance of your arrival day, you'll be given a dedicated check-in time. Please do not arrive before this time. We will then direct you to your accommodation, which will have been thoroughly cleaned and sanitised using the latest ULV cold fogging system, ready for your arrival. Your linen will be freshly laundered and provided in a poly bag, following strict hygiene procedures. We will not be offering our bed-making service at this time. You'll be provided with a park map to help you make your way around and a list of useful contact numbers should you need any assistance during your stay. Now your holiday fun can begin and you're free to explore the park with your immediate family. Please remember, compulsory social distancing and maximum group size guidelines must always be followed. All of our holiday home and lodge accommodation is at least 5 metres apart, so there's plenty of space to enjoy outdoors and stay the required distance from other guests. If for any reason our maintenance team need to access your accommodation during your stay, we will ask you to vacate your accommodation whilst the work is carried out. The areas affected will be sterilised thoroughly after the work is completed. Sadly, due to government guidelines, we cannot open the clubhouse, swimming pool, laundrette, arcade, children's play areas and toilets. These will remain closed until we're permitted to reopen them. We do ask you to keep the 2 metre rule where possible for the welfare of both our colleagues and guests. We have hand sanitizer stations throughout the park and encourage everybody to use these. A takeaway food service is available at Claret Bay Holiday Village, including our ice cream and burger bar. There will also be a delivery service available from our Showboat Kitchen, fish and chip shop and pizzeria. Collection and delivery procedures will be in place. Strict social distancing rules will be implemented in all of our food preparation areas and kitchens. All grades of holiday accommodation are self-contained and self-catering, with everything you need to prepare and cook your own meals and snacks for the duration of your stay. Claret Bay stores will be open and daily stocked with all the essentials you may need. Full details will be given in your welcome pack regarding all opening times. If using the beach, please follow social distancing guidelines. All staff have been given training on the new hygiene procedures and issued with PPE for use where and when appropriate. Please use contactless payment wherever possible. We hope this short video answers any questions or concerns you may have and reassures you that now is the right time to book your next holiday at Claret Bay Holiday Village. Your safety is our priority and we look forward to welcoming you soon.
There you go. So before, I mean, we're back again. Yes. We've got to say a big, big, big thank you to Park Holidays UK, because Park Holidays UK are the ones that produced the original of that video, which was specifically tailored to their business. But then they very kindly said to the industry as a whole, feel free to use. So then I've got a massive to Gem, because Gem has then spent hours and hours and hours going through it frame by frame to make it suitable and applicable to our way of doing things and our branding. So hopefully that video is giving you the comfort you need to know that we are taking this serious, and that we have put systems and procedures in place.
Looks great, doesn't it? I think that's the first time I've seen that. It looks really good.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. I mean, the Vale one is very similar.
I recognise the woman's voice. Who's the woman talking?
going back to what we were saying about things changing and all the time. When that video was playing, my email just pinged, and we've just received guidance now on contact tracing. So the thing with it is that this guidance is only applicable to England. So we now know what we have to do in England. So in England, so this is aimed towards customers at Lisky Hill. It says customers and visitors, and this is just hot off the press now. The name of the customer or visitor has to be when you have to, when you can record the name of the lead of the group, contact phone number for each, date of the visit and arrival, and you have to say if the customer will interact with only one member of staff, or if there's a chance to interact with other members of staff, and this data needs to be kept for 21 days. And then it goes on to tell you about the Information Commissioner's Office with the data protection, etc., etc. So that's an example of how we're working. We're just reacting to emails that are getting pinged to us, and then we're systems and procedures and policies based on that. But sometimes we've anticipated what's going to be required, like we've done with our own track and trace system. So we took the initiative to set up the email address in the hope that it would be something not too dissimilar from what was required. And by the looks of it, we think we've got that one right. But that's what we're working with.
Okay, next question. Someone's asked, please could you tell me the email for Thomas? We're not getting any emails about anything. Not meaning to moan, just to make him aware.
It's my initials, ES, Thomas, ValeHolidayParks.com.
So that was TS at ValeHolidayParks.com.
Yes.
Reese Davis asked, just tuned in, what have I missed? You're too late, rewind. Okay, hi, thank you for the goodwill gesture. We really appreciate it. Also, good news on opening on the 11th of July. It's my birthday. Happy birthday, Tor. Can I please ask about the new owners' passes? My husband and my dad are the owners on the contract, but myself and my mom also jointly own the caravan. Are we allowed to have 4 owners' passes? As there are times when my husband and dad are not with us at the caravan. Sorry.
Yeah, the policy at the moment is whoever's named on the license agreement. So if all those names on the license agreement, then you can each have a pass. It's whoever on the license agreement.
Perry Cooper always has to have a comedy question. He's put, just ask a question. The conveyor belt from the door past the bar to get the drinks, how fast will it be going?
It doesn't really make much difference, Perry, because you're not coming in the club. Next question.
Outdoor club, any ideas in place?
Yes, there are. I did one.
Lost you then.
Yeah, I did mention it before we played the video. We are all of our parks which have bars and clubs will be serving in some form or capacity, and as soon as we get clearer guidance, we will let you all know.
Janet Morris just wants to clean up. She said that you said you have to pay the site fees by the 1st of February. Is it not the 1st of March?
Depends which park you're at, Janet. If you're at Park Farm and it's the 1st of March, most of the other parks 1st of February. So it's whatever your normal site fee date is.
I'm going to ask about older friends who haven't got internet and don't know how to use it anyway. Ian, will you know? Ian, you'll know who I mean. How do they get help on rental help?
I mean, I don't really know how to I had to answer that, Jem. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Sorry, I'm just going through all the questions now. Are you doing a family pass? As most know, my brother tags along with us most weekends, or is it owners' passes? You've answered that one, sorry.
Yeah, but I think, again, context at the moment, the passes are to get you access to facilities. At the moment, the facilities are not open, so I don't think that's something we need to worry about too much at this moment in time.
Oh, sorry.
One thing we will be very, very strict on, though, and I've got to make this clear, is that if you don't follow any of the guidelines or procedures we put in place, or you don't let us know that you've arrived, and unless you've got a good reason for not letting us know, you've genuinely forgot, then we have to take that seriously, because we have our part to play as well. So we have to make sure that everybody stays safe. But I'm sure I'm preaching to the converted, and that all of our owners will be on board with us.
Danielle Williams said, you said static caravan prices will only go up around £80, if at all. Has a decision been made on tourers? As if we accept the Goodwill offer and the price goes up, we will not really gain.
Again, it's not going to go up more than the £80.
Right, Charlotte Owen. May sound silly and don't want to sound awful, but no parks open, so kids playing, people walking dogs, etc. How do you keep them walking past your caravan on your outside space if you like lots walk between the vans and maybe vulnerable people on site? Will there be signs up, etc.? I'm quite placid, just asking questions that some may be thinking.
Look, I said at the beginning of the show, common sense has to prevail, and I think common sense will prevail. And we're putting plenty of signs, plenty of sanitising stations up throughout all of our parks. And hopefully, when people come onto the park, everything will make sense and they will adhere to the rules and guidelines that we're putting in place.
1 second.
He can't multitask. He's trying to.
It's me typewriter's too far away. Okay, next question. Do we continue with the subletting forms?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. No, I think we're all up to date.
Oh, wait.
Oh, what information do we have to give on the trace email?
Date of arrival, date of departure, and who's going to be in the accommodation.
Okay, right. I've got one more email I wanted to read. It's not a question. It's just I thought this was quite a good email, so I wanted to read it out.
Okay.
Hi, I'd like to say a big thank you for the goodwill gesture. You are under no obligation to do this, but it would be very much appreciated. Hopefully this will put a stop to us moaning lot, including me. As Albert Einstein said, if we want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal and not people or objects. We should feel privileged and not bitter. We are the lucky ones. We should remember that 45,000 people that have already sadly lost their lives to this devastating virus, not forgetting the poor souls that are still fighting for their lives. So this is that bad as not being able to use our caravan for the past few months. Nope, it's not that bad, is it? I'd like to say thank you for all the Vale for all your updates. A big thank you to all the staff working behind the scenes to keep us safe whilst at the parks. Looking forward to seeing all my caravanning friends at the Old Vic on the 13th. Last but not least, seeing our Chris. Thanks again and keep safe.
Oh, that's lovely, that is. And Chris is contact with. He's had his hands full with his little one, and he said to me today, he's looking forward just to getting back into the routine. On the subject of reading out messages and emails, I was debating whether to read this one out or not, and I just wanted to get your two's opinion on this. Tell me what you think, and I'm sure that our viewers will have an opinion on this. Let's have a look. So this came through to us earlier on this afternoon. Hang on, bear with. There we go. Right, so it says, thank you for... So this is, this is somebody who wants to book a caravan with us. Let me know if I freeze, because I need you to listen to all of it. Thank you for... let's try and get my... Here we go. Thank you for your email listing 10% discount for your caravan parks. Last year, I rented one of your caravans with a friend, which we enjoyed. I rarely complain about anything. However, I note, yeah. I note that further down the email, you list everyday heroes and
You've gone.
it says it, yeah. However, I note that further down the email, you list that everyday heroes, NHS, teachers, emergency services, and armed forces are entitled to 15% extra plus perks. I am more than upset about the above, considering that there have been so many more people who have worked on the front line from day one, risking their health and taking abuse off people, but carrying on regardless. I myself am one of those people going to work in the supermarket along with all my colleagues. Although I understand fully that the NHS are superior in the role they have played, and I'm still, to a degree, offended and insulted that other professions who have worked tirelessly for all this are being overlooked. With this in mind, I will never book a holiday with you again. So, wouldn't it have been nicer for that person to have said, thank you for your email. I note that you offer a discount for people in the NHS and medical staff and teachers and that. Just to make you aware, I've been working the front line and I'm after a much deserved. Do you know what I mean?
You lost. We got the gist of it, but we
Yeah.
lost.
Rather than sort of berating us and saying she's never going to book a holiday with us again. And I think that's the problem. There's too many angry people at the moment.
Yeah.
There's too many people, and I get it. They've got cabin fever. They're inside their homes, or they're caught up in all of this. And I think one of the things I said from the start of this is that this is going to take its toll on people's mental well-being. And I'll put my hands up. I admit, there's been days when I don't know if I'm going to go in with one or another. But I think we just got to all be a bit nice and a bit kind to each other, haven't we? Do you know what I mean?
And I think we appreciate that. I know that they're on the front line, like all the NHS staff and nurses, but everybody, supermarkets, bin men, everybody been doing their bit to keep us all going, and we do appreciate it all in different ways. It's funny because before all this, I always used to take the ump in a kind of joking way, really. But when you get used to go to places and they do like an over 50s special.
Yeah.
They used to have specials. And I used to say,
I bet you've saved some money with that over the years, Ian, haven't you?
I used to say, that's discrimination. That's discrimination. Well, now I'm over 50.
Yeah.
It's strange, and it's strange people's views on things. But
Well, Debbie Christie said that she's a doctor's receptionist, and can she have a free lollipop because she's not angry?
You can, yeah. No problem at all. But like, where do you, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? And we just thought at the beginning of this crisis, let's be honest, guys and gals in the NHS, they were going into something that we didn't really know much about at all. We now know a lot more about it, and things are. There seems to be light at the end of the tunnel, but. In some respects, I get where that lady's coming from, but the point I wanted to make is why the anger? Do you know what I mean? Why do you need to be that angry? We've already offered a discount, and I suppose she felt left out, but I don't know.
It's your fault for creating COVID, Thomas. You're all to blame. That's what it is.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's. I think that's it. That's a wrap. Unless there's anything else you want to ask me, or if there's anything else you want to talk about while I'm here. Well,
it's funny, because your body language, Thomas. I've got to mention your body language because early on when you were talking, the one time you went, well, there's two possible outcomes to this, and then you went, check your one hand and check the other hand. I thought, well, that's really strange body language.
No, I'm a lover, not a fighter. You should know me by now, boys.
People have all said, and I have mentioned this to you off air as well, they're really grateful for all the information that you've been able to give to them through this medium, through the isolation channel, because there's a lot of people that aren't on even our parks, if you like, sort of Claddock or Vale parks, that have got like a lot of information from what you've conveyed from the Welsh government and how things are working, and help them understand the situation, I think.
Yeah, it's a great medium to have, isn't it? This technology wasn't possible even just a few years ago. But now technology has made us all a lot more accessible and a lot more available. And I know I'm struggling with my internet connection, but in general, we have got good connectivity up and down the country, and it's given everybody a voice and a forum and a platform.
Can I ask, just for a friends, this compensation scheme? Yeah. If people don't want the money, are they able to donate it to like Unemployed Musicians Benevolent Fund?
Well, do you know what? I spoke to an owner today. I spoke to an owner at Cabaret, and do you know what he said to me? He said, "Just take half of it." He said, "We don't want the full. We don't want the full amount. You've done." And I thought, that. Wow, that just what a nice gesture. Obviously we want them to take the full amount that we've offered, but you contrast that with some of the emails we've had in today, and there's just this polar opposites in the way in which people view things, and I suppose that's sort of representative of us as a nation, really, isn't it? When it comes to sort of expression of views and that, there's always that opinion and there's that opinion when you've got the centre ground. And I suppose today, with the emails we've received, we've sort of had things across the whole of the spectrum.
Yeah. Well, I know you always read them anyway, but wait till you read the comments that have been put on when you look back at it. About the Goodwill offer, everybody's so appreciative of it.
We're not doing. Honestly, we've not said what we've said, or I've not said what I've said today on behalf of the family to to sort of try and get praise from everybody and thanks. We're not doing it for that. But sometimes I can come in here and I can give you a very sort of polished, sort of scripted performance, if you like, and stick to the script. But sometimes you've got to put that out the window and go, look, this is what it is, and this is what's happened, and this is, there's nothing more we can do about it. And if you don't like it,
you didn't have to do it. That's the thing. There's nowhere that says it's force majeure. You didn't have to do it.
Well, no, actually, it's not. I mean, we won't go into the legalities of it. And it's not force majeure. I mean, I could stay in here all night and tell you about the ins and outs of it. But what I will say is this: at the beginning of going back about 6 weeks ago, one of the largest operators in our industry, I don't need to name them, you can soon find out who they are, and I'm sure people listening will know who they are. They came out and went, we're not relenting, we're not going to offer anything at all. And you're talking about a company that collectively, between all the parks, have got 60, maybe 70,000 owners on there, which is a huge number. I mean, imagine a big football stadium like Old Trafford packed to the rafters. That's the sort of number you're talking about, and it caused absolute uproar because when you read the correspondence they put out, it was very, very matter of fact. It was very sort of to the point, which I understand. I understand correspondence has to be like that sometimes, so there's absolutely no grey with it. It's in black and white. There's no ambiguity. But as a result of that, Martin Lewis, who we all are familiar with, the money saving expert, picked up on it. So did the one of the consumer rights lawyers who I think is a guest on this morning. He also does stuff for LBC as well. And their initial reaction was that these people had a point. They're talking to us as an industry, and without looking at the license agreement and without looking exactly what that agreement says and without going through the nitty-gritty of it. When they did do that, Martin Lewis, the following day, he put out an addendum to his article and he corrected the advice that he gave. And basically what he said was that it needs to be, a line of communication between the park owners and the customers to try and find a solution that is amicable on both sides. Did concede that there was no legal ground for a claim. One of the other things which has been quite prevalent throughout of all of this is guidance that's been published by the CMA, the Competition and Markets Authority. And again, their initial guidance suggested that owners were entitled to ask for a refund. But it wasn't until it was pointed out to them that the contents of a license agreement was and what it meant. In effect, it's an agreement to put that caravan on that pitch, and that agreement hasn't been broken. It's not an agreement to grant you access to the park. Once they did the research, which they should have done before, they then realised that the advice they given wasn't crystal clear, and they've since changed their stance on it. So one of the things that hasn't helped the situation are the likes of, and I think Martin Lewis is fantastic. He's great. He certainly helped me, with the markets of the Competition and Markets Authority are there. It's great for putting out advice for consumers and things like that, and other things as well. But they don't always get it right, and sometimes they say and do things, and they have a huge following, and they don't realise the effect it has, and it did cause us a lot of issues. So that's why we got to where we got to.
Do you regret slashing his tyres now then? Well, I hope if he has his tyres slashed now,
I get blamed for it. Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Well, I hate to say this. Well, I don't. But we've got a cabaret waiting to go on for us.
Have we?
We
Cabaret?
have. We have.
This is like a professional channel now.
I know.
Should we say hello to Nat then?
Should we get him?
He's unmuted. I can see he's unmuted, but we can't see him because he's not started his video.
Is there a way of warning people before I start the video?
Until it's been enabled by the host.
Oh.
You've not enabled it.
I have now. There you go. Sorry, I forgot to make you a co-host. There we go.
Hey, there he is.
Hi, Nat.
Hiya.
Do you know what? Do you know something that really shocked me about Nat last time he came on the show?
Go on.
Was he slipped into conversation his age? Yeah. And when he told me what age he is, go on, Nat, tell everybody how old you are.
I was 60 Sunday.
Yeah, 60 on Sunday, right?
My birthday.
Yeah. How old are you, Ian? How old are you?
Me?
Yeah, Ian.
I can't remember, Thomas.
Yeah, you're 5 years younger than that, and that looks 20 years younger than you do, eh?
I don't believe you.
Now, I want to know what is the secret to looking like you do at 60 years of age? There's got to be a secret, and if there is, can you please share it with us?
Well, a lot of it is genes, as you know.
What we're talking, Levi's or Diesel?
It's my parents look young, but I only have one solid meal a day, just one solid meal. So I'll have juice drinks and fruit drinks and veg drinks, but one solid meal in the day is sort of late afternoon. I've been doing that for years.
I do that. Don't work with me.
So no, seriously now, because I'm interested when I hear people sort of give us advice and tips like that. So, so you're having sort of one good meal a day, is it? And so you're doing a lot of juicing and sort of and
really
late at night
stuff. I just have like a orange juice, apples and bananas, just juiced up in the morning. Lots of water, cup of tea, coffee. Then sort of 1 o'clock, I'll have a sort of green drink mixed with sort of kale, spinach, avocado.
So all the superfoods.
Maybe a little bit of protein powder in there and linseeds and that sort of stuff. And then
Wow.
I have one big meal around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock sort of thing. And then that'll do me for the rest of the evening.
You see, my biggest problem that is I eat later, You know, I'll wake up and I'm hungry. I'll wake up hungry. You know, and I'll be honest with you. I'm going to let everyone into a secret now. My wife, she's had to buy. Like I keep nicking the kids' chocolate out of the fridge, right? So we've got an actual safe inside the fridge. So all of the sweets and sugary stuff go in. Seriously, I'll go and take a picture of it in a second, and I'll show it. Right, you can buy a little safe that goes inside the fridge, and there's 5 of us in the house, and I'm the only one that doesn't know the combination to that safe. Even my 6-year-old daughter, she's to read the combination. She's behind me. I'm behind her. I'm trying to. She will not tell me what that combination is for that fridge. So yeah. So I think it's great because I think doing the job you do, Nat, and I'm speaking to a lot of artists about this. You're working unsociable hours, aren't you? And you're driving up and down the country, and I've seen a lot of people. They look at people doing the job you're doing. They're going, look at that. What a job that is. He's just got to turn up, and he gets paid for doing an hour's show, and then he gets to go back home. But what they don't realise is to get to and from the gigs.
Setting up before.
And then you have to do it in all weather, come rain or shine. You're setting up the gear, you're pulling down the gear, and then you're having to drive back. And you probably, especially I bet in the early days and that, you come off stage and you'd be really hungry. And what do you go and do? You go and get a nice big greasy kebab on, because there's only certain places that are open late at night on a Saturday, isn't there?
Yeah. Occasionally.
Nat, can you just hold your mic a bit closer? People are struggling hearing you.
Occasionally, I would cheat. I'll have something late, but that's very rare. Maybe once a week or twice a week.
Yeah.
But as long as there is like 16 hours before I eat solid food again, sort of intermittent fasting. I think, not farting. You do a lot of farting when you've had the green drink. That's another thing.
I'll tell you. Yeah, this is what I've been doing. Yeah, I'll show you what I've been doing. Hang on. Nat, you're going to like this.
What's that?
Huel.
What's that?
Nat, have you come across that?
No, what is it?
Right, Nat, get onto Huel, right? When you finish the gig tonight, Google it. I mean, look, don't look at me and think, well, that's what it's going to do to me, right, because I'm not a very good advert for it. I've been on it for about 2 weeks. This is a complete meal, and you can have it in a powder form, or you can have it in a liquid form. And when you look at the ingredients on the back of it, it's got all of your superfoods, everything in there. All.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Huel.
Cool.
It stands for human fuel. There you go.
Human fuel.
Will I still be able to eat my pork scratchings with it?
Yeah, no problem at all. So listen, I'm gonna love you and leave you guys. It's been to see you in that on the show. A lot of positive feedback from the last time you came on, and I'm gonna go and have a bottle of beer or a glass of red. I'm like
a glass of Huel. That's what you're going to have, isn't it, Thomas?
No, it's too late for that now. You're going to be fueling now. If I do, Joanna will kick me out the bedroom and it's in, if you know what I'm saying. So, right, okay. So I'm gonna. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Nat, looking forward to meeting you in person, Nat, because when this all goes back to normal, we'd love you to come and do a gig for us in the flesh.
That'd be great. I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, Nat. Just before, see, yeah. Don't worry. I'm getting. Forget what I'm about to say. Scrub it. Yeah, don't worry.
No, you can leave us all in limbo.
No, it looked like Nat's computer had moved, and I could see past his green screen, but I realised it's your window, Ian, because on my screen you're both together at the bottom of the corner. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So there you go. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Good night. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thanks, Thomas. Thank you.
Bye bye.
See you, Thomas.
Bye bye.
See you.
Oh, it disappeared then. What happened then, Nat? Stage disappeared. Give the trick away.
Oh dear, sorry.
Nat, you are a little bit quiet, I think. Is it quiet at your end, Jem?
No, it's just mic flow. That's good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome to the sofa stage once again. As Thomas said, brilliant the last time he was here. We're so happy to have him back. Please put your hands together at home and welcome to the sofa stage, Mr. Nat Augustin! Hooray!
Woo! Yes. Do you remember remember the 21st night in September? Love was changing the minds of pretenders while chasing the clouds away. Our hearts was ringing in the key that our souls were singing as we danced in the night. Remember how we knew love was here to stay. Hey, hey, party on, Saturday, remember, party on, dancing in September, party on, never was a cloudy day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fire, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. My thoughts are with you, holding hands with your heart to see you. Only true thoughts of love. Remember how we knew love was here to stay. Now December, found the love we shared in September. Only blue top in love, remember. True love we share today. Oh, Saturday, remember, party on, dancing in September, party on, never was a cloudy day. Party on, Saturday, remember, party on, dancing in September, never was a cloudy day. The bells were ringing, our souls were singing. Do you remember? Never a cloudy day. Yeah. Woo. Hey, hey, party on, Saturday, remember, party on, dancing in September, party on, never was a cloudy day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Never was a cloudy day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Woo, yeah, yeah, yeah. Say do you remember dancing in September? Never was a cloudy day. Woo.
Nat, just before you start your second song, sorry,
Woo.
we've got a couple of sound issues. I just want to check, have you got your original sound turned on?
Let me just check. Now it is.
There we go. I thought it sounded different from a sound check. Brilliant. Go for it, buddy.
Okay, okay. Talking about my girl. Good evening, everybody. Sorry about the technical issues at the beginning. Hope everybody's having a good time in this COVID season. But hopefully we'll be out of it very, very soon. Well, tomorrow. A few things are opening, which is great. Still not ready for the entertainers yet, like myself, but we'll just keep waiting and hopefully do more of this kind of thing. So I hope you're going to enjoy my set. I'm going to be doing what I normally do, which is a bit of Motown, mostly Motown and soul. Maybe might throw in some old school reggae here and there. A bit of Luther. This one is a Luther classic. It's so amazing. Yeah, it was my 60th birthday, Monday. Happy birthday to me. Love has truly tell you how you threw me. I'm happy as I can be. You have come and it's changed my whole world. Bye bye sadness, hello mellow. And what a wonderful day. It's so amazing to be in love. I'll follow you to the moon and the skies above. Whoa, whoa. I go, and it's so amazing, amazing. I could stay forever, forever. Here in love I won't leave you never, 'cause we got amazing love. Truly it's amazing, amazing. Love brought us together forever. Here in love I won't leave you never, 'cause we got amazing love. Ooh, so amazing. And I've been waiting for a love like you. It's so amazing to be in love. Follow you to the moon and the skies above. You know it. No, it's so amazing to be in love. I'll follow you to the moon and the skies above. Hey, hey, hey. So, it's so amazing to be in love. I'll follow you to the moon and the skies above. You know it. Ooh. It's so amazing to be in love. I'll follow you to the moon and the skies above. Take the ribbon from your head, shake it loose and let it fall. Lay it soft against my skin, like the shadows on the wall. Come on, lay down by my side till the early morning light. All I'm taking is your time. Please help me make it through the night. I don't care who's right or wrong. I don't try to understand. Let the devil take tomorrow, 'cause tonight I need a friend. Yesterday's dead and gone, and tomorrow's way outside. It's so sad to be alone. Help me make it through the night. Woo. All right. I don't care who's right or wrong. I don't try to understand. Let the devil take tomorrow, 'cause tonight I need a out of sight. It's so sad to be alone. Please help me make it through the night. 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 Thank you. Woo! All right. You what? You what? You what? You what? I searched for love before, for a love I thought I couldn't find. I searched the in and day out for the one that was mine on mine. I played around with love before. I was foolish, and you know that I played the fool, yes. But then you came into my life and you changed that. Because I know what I wanted, where it's at. Yeah, I found love. Since I found you, I'm in love with you. I found loving. Since I found you, I'm in love with you. I found loving. Woo! The sun rises upon your face when I see that certain glow. A picture that's so right, you're my delight. And that's why I love you so. I played around with love before. I was foolish, and you know that I played the fool. But then you came into my life and you changed that. Because I know what I want to be sad. You, somebody to treat me right. Since I found you, I'm in love with you. Oh, since I found you, I'm in love with you. I found loving. Okay, everybody out there, just make some noise as loud as you can. Here we go. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, here. Ooh, I found a love, baby. Ooh, oh. Somebody to treat me right. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, loving only you. Only you. Oh, yes. Baby, 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 baby. Woo-hoo. Yeah, yes. Promise to be true to you, baby. I love that only you. Oh, thank you very much. Now, unfortunately, I don't do any hot chocolate songs. Daisy, sorry about that. Degsy. And no, I don't know that song. It Keeps Raining. David says, no, sorry. I just want to sing this song. It's a Bob Marley song by Bob Marley. Bob Marley song by. Anyway, it's for all you people out there who are suffering during this time. Just got to let you know, every little thing, it's gonna be all right. That's right. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I said don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds fish by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, her melodies pure and true, saying this is my message to you. I said no, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Yes it is. I said no, don't worry, no, I don't worry about a thing. Ooh yes, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. Three little birds fish by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, the melodies pure and true, saying this is my message to you. I said don't worry, no, about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Yes it is gonna be alright. I don't worry, no, I don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright, yes. I said I don't worry, no, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright, yeah. I said I don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. I said I don't worry about a thing. Oh, thank you very much. Hi, Jackie and Winston. All right, this next one's dedicated to them. This one's called Never Too Much. is never too much. And I just don't wanna stop too much, never too much, never too much, never too much. Why, baby? Ooh, oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Woke up today, looked at your picture just to get me started. I called you up, but you weren't there, and I was broken hearted. Hung up the phone, can't be too late, the boss is so demanding. Opened the door up, and to my surprise, there you were standing. Who needs to go to work to hustle for another dollar? I'd rather be with you, cause you make my heart scream and holler. Love is a gamble, and I'm so glad that I am winning. We've come a long way, and yet this is only the beginning. Oh, my love. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much.
Never too much, never too much.
And I just don't want to stop all my love. A million days in your arms is never too much. Never, never too much. And I just don't want to stop all my love. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. Never, and I just don't want to stop too much. Oh, my love. 1,000 kisses from you is never too much. And I just don't want to stop too much. Never too much, never too much, never too much. Ooh. Oh, thank you. Right, I've got to say happy birthday to Bev. It's her 60th birthday tomorrow. Right, now, somebody heard that. Stephen, you wanted red wine. I'm trying to find it on here. I have got it somewhere. I'll find it in a minute, and I'll definitely sing that one for you as soon as I find it. It's here somewhere. All right. It's not, here we go, found it. Right, before I start, I've just got a few little technical problems. I just want to turn it up louder in here so I get a bit of a vibe. So excuse me 1 second. Yeah, all right. That feels like I'm doing a gig. All right. What's that? There's a rat in your kitchen. Oh, the song Rat in the Kitchen. No, I don't know that one, sorry. Red wine goes to my head, makes me forget that I still need a soul. Red wine sticks up to you. All I can do, I've done. Memories won't go. Memories won't go. I had sworn that with time, thoughts of you leave my head. I was wrong. Now I red wine, you make me feel so fine. Keep me rocking all of the time. Red wine, you make me feel so grand. I feel $1 million when you're just in my hand. Red wine, you make me feel so sad. Every time you go, it make me feel so bad. Red wine, make me feel so fine. Monkey back the rhythm by the sweet decline. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sing. Red wine. Stay close to me. Don't let me be alone. No. It's tearing apart. Red wine. It's up to you. All I can do, I've done. Memories won't go. My red wine. Okay, this next one is by a group called The Real Thing, brought to you by myself, Nat Augustin, The Real Thing. So, you're welcome, Steve. I'm gonna take the stars out of the sky for you. Stop the rain from falling if you ask me to. I'd do anything for you, your wish is my command. I can move a mountain when your hand is in my hand. Ooh, words cannot express how much you mean to me. There must be some other way to make you see. If it takes my heart and soul, you know I'll pay the price. Everything that I possess, I'll gladly sacrifice. For you to me are everything, the sweetest song that I can sing. Oh baby, oh baby. To you I guess I'm just a clown who picks you up each time you're down. Oh baby, oh baby. You give me just a taste of love, build my hopes upon. You know you got the power, girl, to keep me holding on. Oh, now you got the best of me. Come on and take the rest of me. Oh, baby, yeah. Woo. Although you're close to me, we seem so far apart. Maybe given time, you'll have a change of heart. If it takes forever, girl, then I'm prepared to wait. The day you give your love to me won't be a day too late. Ooh, words cannot express how much you mean to me. There must be some other way to make you see. If it takes my heart and soul, you know I'll pay the price. Everything that I possess, I'll gladly sacrifice. Sing! The sweetest song that I can sing. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. To you, I guess I'm just a clown who picks you up each time you're down. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. You give me just a taste of love, build my hopes upon. You know you got the power, girl, to keep me holding on. Oh, now you got the Okay, the next one is dedicated to all the panelists. And this one's called In Your Eyes. I think I finally know you. I can see beyond your smile. I think that I can show you that what we have is still worthwhile. Don't you know that love's just like a thread that keeps unraveling, but then it ties us back together in the end. In your eyes, I can see my dreams reflections in your eyes. I found the answers to my questions in your eyes. I can see the reasons why our love's alive in your eyes. We're drifting safely back to shore. I think I finally learned to love you more. To warn me that life changes and that no one really knows whether time would make us strangers or whether time would make us grow. Even though the winds of time will change in a world where nothing stays the same, and through it all, our love will still remain. In your eyes, I can see my dreams reflections in your eyes. Found the answers to my questions in your eyes. I can see the reasons why our love's alive in your eyes. We're drifting safely back to shore. I think I finally learned to love you more. In your eyes, I can see the reasons why our love's alive. You and I, we're drifting safely back to shore. I think I've finally learned to love you more. Thank you. No, I don't know that song by Bob Marley, the Redemption song, but I do know this one by Bob Marley. Dedicated to all you people out there who're not feeling the love in the world. Just gotta say there's one love, and all lives matter. Black lives, white lives, all lives matter. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children crying. One love. Hear the children crying. One heart. Say give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together. Let's get together and fight this holy Armageddon. When the man comes, there shall be no doom. Have pity on those whose chances grow thinner. There can be no hiding place from the Father of creation. Singing now. One love. What about the one love? One heart. What about the let's get together and feel alright? I'm pleading to mankind. Woo, yeah. Say you give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Woo! Thank you very much. No, I don't know that one by Billy Ocean, Caribbean Queen, but I do know this one. This one's called Love Really Hurts Without You. It's the last one from me. If you guys want more, I'll do one more. Woo! You run around town like a fool and you think that it's groovy. You're giving it to some other guy who gives you the eye. You don't get nothing in me. You're painting a smile and you dress all the while to excite me. Don't you know you're turning me on? I know that it's wrong, but I can't stop the pain inside. But baby, love really hurts without you. Love really hurts without you. And it's breaking my heart. What can I do? Baby, love really hurts without you. Love really hurts through. And it's breaking my heart. What can I do without you? Ooh, oh. You walk like a dream and you make like a queen of the action. You use every trick in the book. The way that you look, you're really something to see. You cheat and you lie to impress any guy that you fancy. Don't you know I'm out of my mind? Just give me a sign, a hand to ease the pain inside me, baby. Love really hurts without you. Love really hurts without you. And it's breaking my heart. What can I do, baby? Love really hurts without you. Love really hurts through and through. And it's breaking my heart. What can I do without you? Oh, baby, love really hurts without you, baby. Baby, it's breaking my heart. What can I do, baby, baby? Ooh, baby. And it's breaking my heart. What can I do, baby, baby? Ooh, baby, yeah. And it's breaking my heart. What can I do, baby, baby? Ooh, yeah. It's breaking my heart. What can I do without you? Thank you out there. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely brilliant. Please put your hands together one more time for Mr. Nat Augustin.
Woo!
So you did mention one more. Is
Yes,
that possible?
I can do one more. I like to finish with this particular song. It's very uplifting and it always makes me feel good. So hopefully you guys out there, it'll lift your spirits, you know, in this these times of being able to go out and everything, your love just keeps lifting me higher and higher and higher and higher. And higher. I'll stop there. Your love is lifting me higher than I'll ever be lifted before. So give it up, quenching my desire. I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your love just keeps on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I know your love is lifting me higher and higher. Now once I was downhearted. The disappointment was my closest friend. But then you came and it soon departed. And you know he never showed his face again. Let me tell you, your love just keeps on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I know your love keeps on lifting me higher and higher. Everybody put your hands in the air. Wait like you just don't care. That's right. I can see you. Feels so good. And it's good for your circulation. I'm so glad I finally found you. Yes, you're one in a million, girl. And I wish my loving arms around you. I can't stand up and face the world. Let me tell you, your love just keeps on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I know that love keeps on lifting me higher and higher, higher. Woo! Lifting me, baby. Woo! Lifting me, honey. Lifting me higher and higher. I know your love lifting me higher and higher. Thank you. Good night. God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen,
again.
absolute brilliant. Let's keep it Nat Augustin.
See you guys again, hopefully.
You definitely will. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Nat. And hopefully we'll see him in the flesh soon at one of our parks. Oh, that was brilliant. Thank you, Nat.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Nat. Thank you very much.
He's off. So, ladies and gentlemen, that mic drop. I like that. Perry Cooper's put mic drop, and yes. What a-
Got a great voice. What's it? Came over really well. Came over really
Oh.
well. Something like that. You don't mention it here.
I was happy he sang my song. I requested a song and he sang it, so I was happy. In your eyes. I love that song.
Oh, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah,
Great.
lovely.
Well, that brings us to a close, Ian.
Oh, now, what's something tomorrow? Now, are we doing the kids' quiz tomorrow?
Kids quiz tomorrow. Now, I'm going to give you the choice. Do you want to tomorrow? Do you want to do the kids quiz or do you want to do the adult quiz?
Asking the questions and answering them.
Asking the questions.
I'll do the adult one. Let me do the adult one. The adults love it when I do a quiz. They love it.
So I apologise to all the adults out there for tomorrow night's quiz.
They love it. They go, oh, we're loving it to quiz it. Now, tomorrow,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to tell them because they might start looking. I've got just an idea for the quiz tomorrow.
Fabulous. Fabulous. And we'll have the kids quiz. I might do something different for the kids quiz. Well, I'll figure something out. And tomorrow night, we've got the brilliant Asa Murphy back tomorrow night.
Okay, oh, great.
But he's doing something very different tomorrow night.
Oh,
He's doing a tribute to the Eagles.
Well, I hope he gets that bleeding guitar in tune. Well done. Aye, so well done.
Yeah, we've got the Eagles tomorrow night. So that should be fun.
Great.
And then we'll start seeing people. Do you know what? I'm really worried about? I'm going to be honest with you now. What I'm scared about is when the park opens and we've got people on the park. I've got to remember to get dressed.
You know what they're going to say, don't you?
Go on.
They're going to say, you look a lot shorter on the television because you're sitting down.
Sat down all the
We've got to
time.
watch. Yeah, we've got to get used to it again, haven't we? Really, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't walk around in my pants anymore.
Well, you can if you want to.
I just have to close my curtains. I'm just not used to seeing people. It's going to be so strange. Honestly, it's starting to hit home now. How different it's going to be. It's weird. No, it's great. Can't wait. And I'm still looking forward to Monday. Going to England on Monday.
Oh, to see Mum. Yeah.
See Mum and my in-laws. Will we still be doing CBTV? We plan on it, Claire. That is the plan.
No, knock it on the head. Knock it on the head.
I'm going to have a new studio, though. Yes. I'm going to turn the Played-In into a studio.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah, that way, so for example, when Beth comes, we could do a socially distant show together in the same room.
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
That'd be really good.
That'd be
See
great.
the leftover back jam. I don't understand what you're saying there, Perry, but that's no surprise.
I was going to say we never do. We never do. Now I just read them and go past them. I've sent you I've sent you an email.
Have you?
So check your emails. Yes, it's a version of a song that I've recorded. So you can not to play here, but to have a listen to afterwards and see what you think.
I've not got it. It's not come.
Perhaps not yet. It's on the way.
Oh, okay. I'll just check then.
All right.
No. I'm looking forward to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we wish you a very good night. We shall see you all tomorrow from 7 o'clock. So from myself and from Ian, see you tomorrow. Good night. Da, 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 da.